Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 293. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It's Tuesday, March 22nd,
It is.
2016. We are
Guess what
recording this.
happens in a little over a week? A week and a day.
It is your birthday in
It
a little over a
is.
week and a day.
In a week and a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting.
And your parents will be there for your birthday, won't they?
They'll be here Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So just before my
But I'm
birthday.
sure that Mama Linneman will leave you with a 1, 2, 3, 4 cake.
I hope so. That's the end goal.
I'm sure she can do it for her daughter's 35th birthday.
That's true.
You're old.
Not as old as you.
That's a fact.
And that's never going to change. All right, so knitting. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I can go because I've got one thing, and that's
Okay.
pretty much it. And that's
I only
pretty
have two
much
things.
the same as it was last week. I only had one thing.
But you didn't have this thing.
I didn't. So before we left, I wanted to cast on something simple to take with me because why finish something when you can start something new?
There you go.
So I went through my stash and I found a 50/50 merino silk blend that was sent to me by Roe. And I think I've sort of kind of decided that to keep a long-term project on the needles from yarn that I've got from Roe for as long as I can manage that.
Yeah.
Especially when I travel, because I like the thought of sort of taking her with me. So this is Plucky Classics. It's a discontinued yarn. It is a 50/50 merino silk, and it was a mishmash colorway. Funny Affair at Tiffany's. So it was inspired by An Affair to Remember, Funny Face, and Breakfast at Tiffany's. And it's this beautiful sort of blue
Very
red.
pretty.
And it's got a great shine to it. And I wanted something super simple that I didn't have to think about while we were traveling. So I cast on the Nuvem, which is a Martina Bame pattern.
Yeah.
Are the Knitmore girls still having a Bame alone?
I think they
I
are.
think it's a forever thing. So,
Well, Gigi was cat. Gigi was I'm like 6 episodes behind, but she was still working on
I
something
think
because
they
it was
said it
part
was
of
going
her
to be an
knitting
always
task.
thing. So I
Yeah,
really
it
need to
works out
catch up
fine.
on them. I feel bad. So
I
this is,
listened to them on my flight home.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know, weird chemical stuff is happening in my brain and it makes me not want to do any craft related things sometimes, even listening to it. So anyway, so this is what it looks like right now. It's knit in the round, so you cast on with Judy's Magic Cast On. There's no purls. It's knit entirely in the round. And you cast on with like 150-ish stitches on each needle, so you start with almost 300 stitches. And then you just go around and around and around and around and around and around and around, and you increase on the edges. So it
Yeah.
comes out sort of rectangular. This is where I've joined a skein, so that's why it looks like there's a hole there. And it's very, very simple. And I'm just supposed to knit now until I have 20% of the yarn left. I'm knitting this in a heavier weight than it calls for. It calls for a fingering, and I'm sorry, it calls for a lace, and I'm knitting it in a fingering weight.
But it calls for full mise lace, which is almost a
yeah,
it's like
it's a
a
real
light
heavy
fingering.
lace and a light fingering, yeah. But I figure it's a shawl, so it really isn't going to matter if it turns out bigger.
That cat is such a weirdo. He's licking the desk.
Damn
Weirdo.
delicious desk, I guess. I don't know.
The old IKEA desk is delicious.
So I'm knitting this on size 5 needles, which are the blue signatures 3.75 millimeter. And that's pretty much it. That's really the only brain space that I've had for knitting this week is this Nuvem. So
Okay.
it's all you know.
It's all me. Well, I have two things to show. And I finished two things. You didn't finish anything, correct?
No, I
So
did not finish anything.
I could have looked at the show notes, but I have my pattern for this up right now. So this is a cat. This is Puddle Duck, which is a top-down sweater. It's a kid's sweater. It is really, really cute. So it's a top-down raglan. I've got the top down done. It's got this cute garter collar. And then the bottom has pocketses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about sticking maybe some My Little Pony mystery packs in the pockets when I give it to her.
That's cute.
So it is past the barely past the sleeve
Separation.
separation, and so those are on holders. And there is this cool guard. So there's one pearl round, and then you can kind of see there's a slip stitch that goes down. So I put a marker. It doesn't call for a marker. It says like knit 24, then
Yeah.
slip one. But I like having that marker because otherwise I'll continually go right past it.
Yep. And you'll
So I
realize it
have
7 rows later. And
yeah, that detail occurs on the back and the front. So I have some markers to remind me of that. And then there's markers for the underarms as well. And it's about to increase out like a very bell shape, and then the pockets will be on the bottom. This is out of Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein. I did not get gauge with it. I'm a little bit off, so I'm having to do the 8-year-old size rather than the 6-year-old size for my 4-year-old niece. I hope, and no one was counting. So, that is going pretty well. This is the Lori colorway. I like it. It's very Alice. I have to get this done by the end of the month, so I have a week. It's 500 yards total, and I would say I'm probably around 100 in. So, not too bad.
but you just started it like yesterday.
I started it right before I left, and thank goodness I thought about throwing it in my luggage to take with, and I did not, thank goodness. Because this is my owl for Harry Potter House Cup. This is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it went missing, it would be bad. Like, for my imaginary points.
In the imaginary online competition that you play.
Yes.
But it makes you happy, so rock on.
Yeah, it makes me finish stuff. And that is actually Alice's Christmas sweater for next year. So that's a head start. The other thing I have on the needles are Hermione's Everyday Socks. I've never actually knit this pattern before.
Or with
So-
that yarn.
Do what?
Or with that yarn.
No, I've never knit with this yarn before either. Oop, but I have a random loose stitch just hanging out. I'm going to say that you came off of that one. Fabulous. I'll fix it later if not. So this is a hot mess right now. There we go. Maybe. Oh, I'll have to fix you. This is Black Trillium Fibers Merlon sock in the Phantom colorway. We got this at, oh, that's a better way of doing it. I got this at Happy Knits when we met for our meetup. It is a superwash merino nylon blend 75/25, and I really liked the color, which is what caused me to get it. It's like very grello,
Yes. it
great
is.
yellow combination, which made me happy. And I had no other yarn with me because my suitcase went AWOL.
You haven't
And
told
it's-
that story on the podcast yet.
I know.
Okay.
And so on our way to Portland,
I've heard the story at least 24 times.
probably more.
But you
'cause
guys
poor
haven't
Leslie-
yet, so.
Poor Leslie was with me. On my way to Portland, we got to Portland on Wednesday, and I arrived, and Leslie arrived, and Leslie's suitcase arrived. My suitcase did not. And we are on day 6 of it missing, and it still has not turned up. I do have other works in progress in the suitcase, but you can't see them because they're in a suitcase, which is missing. So now I have to, Southwest has a very intricate form that you have to fill out. So for every item that was in the suitcase, you have to put the brand, where you purchased it from, how long ago you purchased it, and how much you paid for it for every single item that was in the suitcase. Now I'm wishing I had taken a picture of my suitcase. Because I have no idea what the brand of my suitcase was. So that's fun. I lost 2 projects. I lost a pair of socks that I had started on some Addie 16-inch circulars in Knitter's Nightmare yarn, which actually she just put its electric funeral, and she just put a skein up today, and I almost bought it to make myself feel better, but I did not. Because I have faith that the suitcase is going to come back.
I hope it does. My money is on it still sitting in Memphis somewhere, but
Yeah, I don't know. Like it felt like the guy in Portland said 9 times out of 10 when it takes this long, it fell off a belt in an area that like humans don't go to.
yeah.
So next time they walk back there, they'll see like 6 suitcases and be like, "Oh, look at all these suitcases." Um, so hopefully that happens. It wasn't scanned after Memphis, like it wasn't scanned in Chicago or Portland. So it's just hanging out somewhere in the United States, hopefully. Um,
So if we have any viewers who happen to work at the Memphis airport
the
who can hook
Chicago
us up,
airport. And hopefully it's there. I mean, Southwest was trying. They seemed like they were trying pretty hard. Now they've just given up. The sad thing is, I had like 5 pairs of hand knit socks in there, and my Kirsten Kapoor mystery shawl that I had knit that was pretty intricate lace and
mm-hmm.
had some crochet on it even, in green Volmisa, and the shawl that I had just finished, which was the Charlotte's Web Sunshine Yarns shawl. Um,
Little skein in the big wool. That was the
uh,
kit, right?
yeah, it was the kit. The Melanie Burke pattern. So I hadn't even worn that once. So that's a little disappointing because it was an 800-yard shawl.
Yeah.
But at least I got photographs of it because that was part of the owl too. Um, and like my SAF jacket and a lot of my Ravelry t-shirts and some SSK t-shirts and my quilty t-shirts, and I always overpack my
I do the same.
glasses,
Yeah.
extra set of contacts, like those things that you enjoy having, all my pairs of jeans. So, but with things that are happening in the world, one missing piece of luggage is not the end of the world. If that's all
Inconvenient, but still.
it's inconvenient. If that's all that goes wrong with my week, that's not a big deal. It was more inconvenient for Leslie because I had to drag her through Portland as I tried to find jeans that fit. Because I'm 6 foot tall. Most of the viewers probably wouldn't know that unless they've met me in real life. So trying to find clothes that are not like capris when they're supposed to be regular length jeans is sometimes a little bit difficult. But it's all good. And I actually had a credit for the Loopy U, so I ordered a set of replacement needles. Not Addies, because they didn't have them, but Hiya Sharps yesterday.
Yeah, I like those.
So, and I only spent like $6 because I had that credit. So, perfect. Anyway, we were talking about my pretty yarn. So this is Hermione's Everyday sock pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's got a pearl texture that occurs.
Mm-hmm.
And on this side, it's all gray. And on this side, it's got that pooling going on,
Yeah.
which I'm not certain I'm in love with. I kind of like it better up here where it was more stripy. So I think I'm going to do the Hermione's texture to the heel, which is a garter stitch heel, apparently. I think I read that correctly.
I don't think I even looked at the pattern heel.
And I'm going to try it. And so I am going to, after the heel, I'm just going to straighten at the foot. Because no one's going to see the sock in my shoe. So the leg will be in the pattern. And then after that, I think I'm just going to straighten it. It is living in my Fat Squirrel bag. I lost a Fat Squirrel bag in my luggage too, and one of my Sherlock's bag from Casey of Tangerine Designs. But like I said, things are replaceable. It's not a huge deal. Filling out the form is the most inconvenient thing ever, but whatever. But thank goodness for Etsy, because it tracks my yarn. The sad thing is, like, I know exactly, like, the yarn and when it was purchased, but the clothes, who knows? So from now on, I'll be carrying on all my knitting and everything that I possibly can. So this is Hermione's Everyday Sock. And let's see, finished objects. So I have Julia's Owlet sweater, because it's the mini version of the owls. So it is not getting buttons because she does not care for buttons, and I do not care for sewing on buttons. Um, so it's pretty awesome. It's done. I added an extra 2 inches to the body and an extra inch to the sleeve. So hopefully that will last. That's her Christmas present for next year. So that is done. So I'm really happy with that. And that was out of the Knit Picks Brava Bulky, which someone claimed and is going to a new home. The leftovers. And then I also finished my Vanilla is the New Black socks.
This was Desert Vista.
This was Desert Vista Dye Works in the Puff the Magic Dragon colorway. It's so weird because one is not so loose, and then because these were knit for the top down. So my cast on, which was exactly the same, one is much looser than the other.
Yeah.
I was probably stressed this day, but it goes over my heels fine. They're actually, because of this heel, I kind of measured incorrectly, so they are a little bit like I measured to it not stretch, but when you put it on, this ribbing really expands. So this is definitely a sock that I would try on as I was knitting it, but I did not because I was in Hinsdale Public Library when I got down to like the toe, and I didn't want to take off shoes in a library to try on a sock.
While you were teaching a class?
I wasn't teaching.
Hmm.
Not at Hinsdale. I went and did Becca, that was on the Chicago trip. Becca did an interactive movie night for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's right.
So I went to see how that works out. But yeah, so these are going into the Christmas pile for my sister. Man, all the Christmas, like next year, all the Christmas presents will be done.
That's awesome.
Like I'm rocking it. So still have to photograph these and get these up for the Desert Vista Dye Works knit along that she does every month. But done. I have like 3 pairs of socks that need ends. Those have the ends woven in, but I have other ones that need ends woven in. They're just chilling over there. In spinning news, I am spinning the other half of the Southern Cross Fiber BFL. It's almost done. I'm probably going to work on that tonight as I catch up with The Voice. So love The Voice, and I can't get through a single episode like when they're doing the tryouts without crying. Like all the heartwarming stories occur on The Voice.
I hate people, so I can probably do it without crying.
And I'm actually going to start watching Dancing with the Stars because one of the Steelers, Antonio Brown, is on there. And one of my favorite Buffalo Bills players of all time, Doug Flutie, is on there. Did you have Flutie Flakes when you were a kid?
Nope.
So Doug Flutie was a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills post Jim Kelly. And his son has autism. And he was one of the first advocates for autism research and autism awareness, and they were like Frosted Flakes, but they were called Flutie Flakes, and all the proceeds went to autism research. When I was much younger, that was a thing. We are going to skip the book review this week. Next week, we have a super cool sock collection to review, but since we are going to talk a ton about Portland and what we bought in Portland and all the Portlandia things, we didn't want to give you like a 3-hour show. So we're going to skip it and come back to it next week. I kind of already answered this question from Lori, but after learning to knit, Lori has a question, and it is, after learning to knit about a year and a half ago, I decided I wanted to try socks. I'm super impressed with people who have not been knitting long and try socks because it took me a long time. Of all the methods one can use to knit them, I find knitting on 2 circulars to resonate the most with me. Most recommend 2 24-inch circulars, but that sounds long and floppy to me. Laura, I noticed you knit your socks that way, and it looked like your needles were shorter. What would you recommend to newer 2 circular knitters, and do you have any other quick tips? Well, when I teach socks using 2 circulars, I typically recommend that people use 1/16-inch and 1/24. The reason why I do that is twofold. First off, it allows you to keep track of what needle, because sometimes you can get confused really easily and pull on the wrong needle, and then you just start knitting in the round on one needle, and that doesn't really work because it's a smaller circumference.
And that's why I don't use two needles, because that happens
Oh, really?
every time.
Oh, really? So I recommend 124 and 116 inch, and sometimes even different brands, and that way you can really differentiate between those two needles. I tend to use 216 inch. That's just my preference. They do have shorter tips, so if that is a problem, that's something to think about. Also, most people typically have, like, you're not buying the same size that way if you buy 116 and 124. So when you use them for different projects, you have more of a wide range to select from. Um, but I'm trying to think of any other quick tips. Nope. I tend to give mine a little tug, and see the needle that it's attached to, obviously, is going to move. So that helps. But if you have like a Chigu red and an Addy with the blue cord, it'll be really easy to tell the difference between the red and blue cord, even if you want to use 216 inch. So that is it for me. I feel like I've been talking forever. Do you want to talk about what you're reading?
Not really, because most of it's smut, and that I didn't take the time to link any of it. So I'm still listening to "Off to Be the Wizard" by Scott Meyer, and I
Okay.
started the second. I think I mentioned that before. The second in the Red Rising series, which is Golden Sun. Um, but as far as what I'm reading, nothing that I would recommend to anybody else really at this point. So
Okay. One of our viewers in Portland recommended a series to me. It is the first book is Queen's Wings, and the second one is Queen's Flight, I believe. They are by Jamie K. Schmidt. They are about dragons, and they're adult books. They're not kid books. And it's funny because the dragons all hoard something. Like one dragon hoards motorcycles, and the main female characters hoard books and knitting supplies. Like one's a knitter.
nice.
So that would be me if I was a dragon, basically.
That is you
They're
now.
cute. I don't have to be a dragon.
No.
They're cute, pretty short, but only like $3, I think, in the for the Kindle. So if you are very into dragons and shapeshifters, these are just dragons, but they're very humanized dragons. That might be dragon romance. That might be a good suggestion for one of you. I read them in one day, so
Yeah.
I enjoyed them immensely. Let's talk about Portland. So we went to Portland. We left Wednesday and got there Wednesday around 11 a.m. Portland time. And really had a good time, explored several venues, and kind of have made our final selection on a venue. Um,
I like how Laura says explored several venues. In my head, that's Laura dragged me around every square meter of Portland twice in some cases.
Sometimes we went over the Morrison Bridge like 1,800 places
Yeah.
times.
Um, Portland is a really cool city. I really dislike parking in big cities. Portland only affirmed that. But aside from the parking issue, um, Portland was it was a lot of fun. Sorry, my one of the cats is tearing something up over there, and Neelix came downstairs. So Wednesday, what did we do Wednesday? We got in, we went to
Wednesday, we got in. We went to Powell's.
One of the Powells,
We went to the main
the
Powell's,
big
which
one.
was super awesome. Um, and you could play like hide and seek in there for days.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be an amazing one to play hide and seek in. And then we walked down to Pearl Fiber,
Yes,
which
that
is a
was.
teeny tiny shop.
Mm-hmm.
And but they have a lot of local dyed fibers and yarns. And you
Yeah.
got a super cool ornament there.
Oh yeah, I did. So I try to buy something from every yarn shop I go to, even if it's not like yarn. So this is what I got there, and it's an ornament from a local artisan. I don't know whether the name is on it or not. Oh, sorry about that noise. Yes, C. Wilson design, and it's just a stylized sheep with a glazing on it, and it's clay.
It's super cute. I like the
So
curlies.
yeah, it's just a cute little ornament to remind me of Portland, and I always like ornaments for my Christmas trees. So I got that. I don't think you got anything there, did
I
you?
did. I
Okay.
got I have been wanting to try Stitch Jones for a long, long time. And I got this super bright Sergeant Pepper colorway
Oh yeah.
in her titanium sock base, which is a merino nylon 75-25 blend. And it's very happy. And I needed happy on Wednesday. So it is very lovely. And then we walked down to Dublin Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was hard to decide there, but Leslie picked this up and then put it down. And then I was like, mine.
Yeah.
Because our rule is once you put down something, the other person has
Can't
free
call
dibs to
dibs.
grab it.
Yeah.
So this is Life in the Long Grass. Dublin Bay is a really cool shop because it's all yarns from Great Britain and Ireland, like the UK for the
Mm-hmm.
most part. So they had a lot of Rowan, but they also had a lot of really cool indies. And this is Life in the Long Grass. It is a 4-ply fingering sock, 100% superwash merino. So this is going to be for a shawl for sure. And it's 425 yards, and this is the Harbor colorway. Oh, I didn't even look at the price before I purchased it. Wow. Um, really, really pretty. I like the rust. I love grays, and that rust is really pretty.
Yeah. I like that one. Clearly, since I picked it up and then put it down.
Yeah,
And
you
then
use your leaves.
I got one, same dyer, same base. This one is called Splash. Well, that's the colorway, and it's kind of
It's pretty too.
speckled, more of a speckled design.
Yeah,
Um, these will probably be socks because, well, it is 100% superwash merino, but I'll probably just go down a needle size on the heel
and
and
make it super
adjust.
dense.
Yeah,
You could
uh,
always add something like a mohair
yeah, I could.
carry along too if you wanted.
Or I could do alternate heels in a different
Oh
colorway.
yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
so that's Life in the Long Grass. Let's see, do they have a website on here? Yes, lifeinthelonggrass.com. I'm going to try as we go to link these people, so I apologize in advance. This is my one blanket apology for the typing noise. If that super duper bugs you, then I'm sorry. We don't do it often, but I wanted to make sure we link these people.
Yep. So those were the only two shops we went to. We went to Pearl Fiber Arts and then Dublin Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that day, and then Thursday we went to Wednesday night we went shopping. For me for clothing, so I would have clothing
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the time we were there. And we went to a mall and it had an American Girl doll store, so I ran in and took a selfie real fast.
So wait,
There's tons.
you have to say we took the car and drove out and parked several blocks out from the mall, only to
No, we were
realize.
attached to the mall.
Okay,
That
yes.
was we
Only
parked
to
in the
realize the mall was a 3 block walk from the hotel.
well, Um, but had really good dinner. I can't remember where we had dinner that night. That's where I had
Henry's
like
Tavern.
no, that was the next day. Henry's Tavern was the one with the good
Red Tavern, then, maybe.
fries. Yeah, we went to a tavern of some kind, which was
Mm-hmm.
not very tavern like. It was super upscale.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but very, very good. And then Thursday we went and checked out a bunch of different venues and we got on the waffle.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, we went to Waffle Window, which
Waffle
was
Window,
delicious.
which
And I
was
got a savory waffle with cherry tomatoes and cheese and
egg.
no egg.
Oh, I thought it had egg.
Basil. Nope. It was really, really good. And Leslie got a sweet one. It
Mm.
was what?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was like had well, I think it was like blueberry cheesecake or something. It had
Mmm.
blueberries and homemade whipped cream and cream cheese, I think, and I had them add bananas because I didn't have enough calories yet, so I wanted to make sure that I really got them in. Um, of the two waffle places we went to, I preferred that one over
Yes,
the
I
other.
liked Waffle Window quite, yeah, that was my favorite as well. And then we went to a very small yarn shop, and now I can't remember the name of it. Knit and Pearl, maybe? And there was a fiber, or not fiber, fabric store beside it.
Oh yeah, Bolt was the
It
one
might be
beside
on,
it.
nope, there's no tag on here. And I bought a skein of Bumble Birch, which is a new to me dyer, in Heartwood. The color, which is the base name, the color is Eggplant. And she's a Portland dyer. So really, really pretty.
All right, I'm gonna link her.
Um, and then we went to Twisted,
Mm-hmm.
and at Twisted, I bought a skein of hazelnuts.
Twisted
And
also
this,
has a shop dog. He's called Nugget,
yes,
and he's pretty cool.
yes, he was really cool. And this is the Aquarius colorway. And they have a ton. This is just her artisan sock. They had a ton of hazelnuts there, and they also had a ton of oh, what is the name of that? Tina from
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. They had a ton of Blue Moon as well. And they also had Joji Locatelli's interpretations, her and Vera's books together in print, which was super cool.
Yep.
And so did Happy Notes.
So we picked up the second volume. I think it has a download code in here somewhere. Or maybe not. Oh, yeah, there it is. So it's got a download code so you can download the...
Yeah, but the books are very nice as well. They're a very nice paperback book. So that was fun to see all her books in person, which was really cool. And Nugget was super cool. And we hung out there for a while.
Oh, I've got something from there. I got hazelnuts, of course. So I don't know who may remember, but Ooh Fancy Pants, who now is a mommy. She doesn't do her podcast anymore right now anyway. I'm not sure if she'll ever get back to it or not, but she knit a sweater out of this colorway, Hoppy Blonde, and ever since I've just coveted it. And I still want to make a sweater out of it, but they didn't have enough in the base that I wanted, so I just got a single skein, but I got it of the Entice, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend. And this is Hoppy Blonde, and it's sort of
So pretty.
a kettle dye, sort of orangey yellow, or more, yeah, sort of an orangey yellow.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful, and I've wanted it for so long. But it's hard to pick just one with hazelnuts for me. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I did. I stopped because our goal was to purchase things that we couldn't get
Oh, yeah. I got something
easily,
else from there,
where
too.
we, either from a local shop or online, or things that were new to us. That was our goal. So I really wanted to not go crazy on the hazelnuts and just got a single skein.
So, one of the yarns that I was looking for was Republic of Wool because I've heard some really good things about them, and they had one skein left
Mm-hmm.
in the entire shop. So this is Sourpuss, which is a bright yellow. I don't know what was with me this trip. I was very into the yellows. So this is Republic of Wool, twist fingering. It's an 80/20, and it's 400 yards.
Republic of
And it's
Wool.
this bright, like toxic greenish yellow.
It's so funny to me that they only had one, and it was this obnoxious color.
And I was still like, ooh. And guess what? I love it with like,
Yeah,
I think that might
that's
become
very
like
Stephen West, like those
a
colors.
three color shawl, like the Joji Locatelli three cashmere color shawl. I
Mm-hmm.
think that might be what those three become. Um, and then we went to Happy Knits, and the only thing I bought there was the yarn that I'm knitting with. But you got some other stuff.
I did, and before I really talk about that, I just wanted to send a sincere thank you to Happy Knits. We went to half a dozen shops in Portland, and Happy Knits was super welcoming. Everyone was really nice.
We had a great meetup.
Yeah, we really did. The employees were great. Little Rocco the puppy was awesome. Really wonderful selection of stuff that they had there. The prices were really reasonable.
Hmm.
A huge, great meeting space, and everybody that was there was very nice. They brought snacks and drinks,
It was
and
super
it
fun. We had a
was,
great meetup.
yeah, it was really wonderful. If you're ever in the Portland area, Happiness is a great shop. Um, and I had never been there before. I'd only ever been to Twisted before, so a really, really great meetup. So I chose. Oh, sorry, stuff's falling out. So I went and got Black Trillium. Laura mentioned the Grello colorway she was using. Well, it's not called Grello; it's called something else. But
Yeah.
I got three colors that were each calling to me in the I don't know. Oh yeah, it's a DK weight in the Sublime base, and these are all 100% superwash merino, and they're a little Stephen West as well.
I
Um,
love them though. They're super happy.
so there's charcoal, robin's egg, which is almost like a Tiffany blue, slightly deeper, and then cerise, which is kind of blurring out. It's so bright. But yeah, so I got all three of these, and I thought they looked really cute together. Each one is 260 yards of worsted, so I just got to do some pattern searching and find something. They feel really nice, and I've never used the dyer before. Again, that's Black Trillium. I'm going to link her real quick, and I don't know. I liked them. I thought they went together really well. So that's what I got there. What did you got? Republic of Wool.
No, I got the what am I knitting with? The Black Trillium as well. There we go.
Oh,
And the
okay.
Phantom.
I just
Yep.
wanted to make sure I'm linking everything that we talk about. So we had a wonderful meetup, and then we had dinner with the lady from We Press, Shauna McCune. I think that's how you say her name. And one of the ladies who came as well to the meetup, and I cannot remember her name now, but she was hilarious. We had dinner with them, and let's see, what did we do Friday? We did a lot of exploring Friday.
So Friday we went to yet another venue.
Hmm.
And then we went to
Button
Fluvog.
Emporium. Yes, we went to Fluvog.
We went to Crafty Wonderland.
Yes. I got so many cards. So many. Like every store that we went to that wasn't like knitting store, essentially, Laura would find something cool and cute, and I'd be like, let me look at the cards. So that's what I did. I think I brought most of them, and I'll link
We
them.
went and we tried on Dance Goes, but we didn't buy anything.
Yeah,
We went to the Tom store, didn't buy anything. Went to Fluvog, didn't buy anything. Um, that was all our shoe shopping,
yeah.
which was a bust.
We tried
Uh,
Off the Waffle. That
yes,
was
which
Friday
was a
morning.
very long wait.
Yes, it was a long wait. The waffles were good. The food was good. It was just a long wait. Um, which it may not always be that way. I don't know. But it was
But
good.
it was like a Friday at like 10 o'clock, so
Yeah.
we weren't really anticipating a huge wait. We
Yeah.
went to that last yarn store that was more towards downtown,
Knit Pearl.
Knit Pearl, and I got this Hemingway of Blissful Knits, which was really, really pretty.
Blissful Knits. Um,
And then you got the Northbound Knitting.
yes, I did. Um, Blissful Knits. God, you only showed that for like 6 seconds. You could have talked about it a little bit longer.
It's pretty.
It
It's
is really
Hemingway
pretty.
too. It's said by Raya, Raya. It's a superwash merino nylon cashmere, 430 yards. Ambrosia is the base
Oh,
name.
now it's finally showing the color. It was just looking really dark, but now it's finally showing the color.
Okay. And yeah, there's some purple streaks and yellow streaks and a lot of gray and a bright blue, and it's very variegated but very pretty. And they had all the coconut stuff there, so it was fun to see that
Hmm.
in real life. Where else did we eat that day?
Uh,
Everything's blurring together.
Northbound Knits. This is what I got. This was something
Oh, we
I.
did food trucks that day.
Oh yeah, we did do food trucks that day. We had grilled cheese at that sandwich
Yeah,
place.
at the grilled cheese food truck,
Yeah.
which was very good.
So this is
I
a.
had a brie grilled cheese.
I don't remember what I had. Anyway, this is a BFL silk cashmere. So this is a luscious yarn, and it is in the Monsoon colorway. This is Northbound Knitting. I've never managed to score anything on her website. That being said, I have never really stalked, so that's kind of my
I
fault.
think Eat Sleep Knit might carry her stuff now too.
Yeah. So she had several colors that were primarily gray with bits and bobs of other colors in there. There was one
Yeah.
with red. I did not purchase that one. I actually purchased this one. This one was Monsoon, and it's got pops of teal and a deep blue, almost a navy in there. So this one is 438 yards, so it's enough for a shawlette. That's what I would do with it anyway because
Yeah.
it's such a
That might
nice
be perfect
blend.
for that shard pattern by Rami. That might be fun.
I haven't seen that one. Is that the one that you're doing the class on?
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
doing the class on a Sylvia Harding shawl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that pattern
I'm
yet, so
taking a class
I have
by
to go
Sylvia
look.
Harding at DFW. I need to get on my homework for that. Maybe this week.
We went by Button Emporium.
We did.
It was not what I would thought it was going to be. So Laura and I, when we went to New York City, went to a button store, and now I can't remember what it was, and it was just freaking amazing. So
It
many
was all little
really,
boxes of buttons.
yeah, really unique
Yes.
things that you wouldn't see other places. So I guess that's kind of what I expected from a store called Button Emporium, and it was nice, but it wasn't. I mean,
It was a
most of
lot of all the dill buttons,
yeah,
I
very
think.
commercially available buttons. She did have some that
Like,
were really unique, but it was a very small percentage.
yep,
But she did have some great ribbon, so I picked out several different grow green ribbon options for
button
button
bands.
bands. So I got this sort of 80s looking cat
I
in yarn.
love the 80s cat.
And then I got the little birds that look like musical notes. Um,
Super sweet.
they do have musical notes, but it's on like a stanza. Is that what it's called? Stanza? I can't
No,
remember.
a stanza
It's
is
a
in poetry.
poem. Yeah, but I can't remember what the lines in the music are called. I still want to say stanza, although it may not be right. In fact, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure it's not. And then the last was just because it was silly. Was this octopus?
He's awesome.
Yeah, and it's really wide. It's like an inch and a half wide. So I'm not certain that that'll get used on a button band, but I might do like some kitchen towels and just put this on the bottom
Yeah.
as a decorative accent. I got a yard of each, so
Can you tell I left my cat for
yeah,
5 whole days?
he is very unhappy and needing attention, but he's that way all the time anyway, regardless of
But
how you
Amber
look like.
came over yesterday and gave him, Yarn Hoarder came and visited and tried out some wheels and gave him all the love, and he's still super
That's not
needy.
the same. That's not his mama. So that was Button Emporium. I think that was the last place we really went on Friday. I should also mention that every day we went back to the hotel and took a nap. Or just sat quietly for a little while. I took a nap most days.
Yeah, I sat and read for a little while, or it. Um, and then Saturday we met up with D-Knits and
Hmm.
went to the Saturday morning market,
Yeah, the
which was
Portland
super
market.
cool.
I'm glad that we,
And
just by luck, we were going in March and it had just, like, it's only open from March until, like, October or
yeah,
something? So,
Christmas Eve.
oh, okay. So, yeah. And that's
That was
just
super cool.
local artisans set up,
Booths.
booths and.
Yeah, it's like an art fair.
Hmm.
And we found this really, really cool guy, and he does woven jewelry and art pieces using like sewing through, well,
Yeah.
anything he has laying
Yeah.
around.
Sewing thread, serger thread, embroidery thread, anything he's got hanging around. So,
So Leslie bought a piece,
oh,
and then she
good.
got something for us to use as a giveaway.
Yes. So, and I will make sure that I link him. This is, oh my God, I think his name is, like, it's a hard font to read, and the name is crazy. Um, Terry, Terry Lay Designs. I'm going to put it in the show notes, so don't feel like you need to try and read this. But it's like pterodactyl, that's how it starts. Pterodactyl. But it's like Terry Lay Designs. It's a really poorly chosen font because it's hard to read. Handmade finely woven jewelry and framed art, all made with single fibers using one-of-a-kind technique, displaying detail and precision with an emphasis on color and pattern. So all that with a lead up, and this is the piece that I chose for myself.
It's so pretty. And he actually had another one available, like the same piece available as well.
And all of these are individually woven threads. It's really hard to see because it looks like stained glass, but every single piece is individually woven thread. And I thought it was really cool. Like, I haven't seen that anywhere before.
And it was very reasonably priced for
like
the amount of work that went into it.
$90 for, this is like a 3.5 square
And it's
piece.
sealed and
Yeah.
framed
Yeah, so
and
I can
matted.
touch it and it's not going to move the threads. And it's just really beautiful. And I like to have art in my craft room, especially.
Yeah.
And so we picked out, he also had jewelry, like earrings and matching pendants. We were going to get a set, but we weren't sure that all of our viewers would have pierced ears, so we went instead with just a pendant. This is, again, Terradale Designs. I'll put it in the show notes. But it's a similar color scheme. It's got sort of blues and purples and greens and silver in there. This is, I would say, 1.25 to 1.5 inches square. I could get out and measure.
It's sealed.
Yeah, it's sealed so you can touch it and it's not going to, I mean, I probably wouldn't scratch it or anything, but touching it's not going to move the threads.
So it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And he was a cool guy to stand around and talk to as
Yeah,
well.
he was perfectly willing to explain how he did it and, you know, about how long each piece took. And he's got an Etsy shop, so I'm going to link that so you guys can see that as well. So he was the first stop. And then we found some, this guy who does word art called
Out Nerd Me. He was hilarious. And he is so excited because he might get to meet Nathan Fillion. Like, he goes to Comic-Con and all the cons, and I guess one of the Washington cons, Nathan Fillion said he was going to be there, so he's very, very excited. And he was just a very cool guy.
He was.
You
He
could
was
see
willing to
he
sit
was
and chat
super
with us.
enthused. Sorry, he's clicking on things, and I don't want him to disconnect the call.
Oh, this paterale word is a word. An area of the skin from which feathers grow.
Interesting.
Okay. Anyway, do you have your word art that you can show?
I do not. It's in my bedroom.
Oh my goodness, that is just a shame. Well, I'll show mine.
You have to show yours.
So Laura got a Princess Bride one, of course.
Princess Bride one.
And I got, this is, so I'll show you the profile way back here. This is Jareth, David Bowie, who played Jareth on Labyrinth. He's the Goblin King. And then it's got all these different blurbs from the movie. Everything I've done for you. I moved the stars for no one. And then like all these different little blurbs from the script. And they were reasonably priced as well.
It was 15 for one, and then everyone after that was $10.
Yeah, it's a little bit more to buy online, and then there's shipping, but there were lots of like cute matchy ones. There was a bunch of Firefly ones. Denise got some of those. There were Sherlock ones. There were Soft Kitty, Big Bang Theory ones. Like lots of pop culture references.
Yeah, all pop culture.
So,
yep.
And I think this is like
Lots
12
of Star
by
Wars.
16, so it's a standard size that you can get frames for. I love mine. I could have gotten several more, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
let's see.
And then we went to, where did we go after that? We went to the fabric place, Fabric Depot,
Yes, which was
amazingly huge. It's like a fabric store the size of a Walmart.
Yeah.
And they had more buttons than the button Emporium did.
They do. Is he just sitting in your lap like a toddler?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. All right, so I'll show you guys. I only got a
He's
couple of
chilling.
things at the Fabric Emporium, but I'll show you what I got. I got a book on Sashiko. Oh, little face. He's gonna be all grumpy now and move probably.
He's not going anywhere.
I got a book on Sashiko, which is the simple embroidery just using running stitches. It's got some designs in there as well as some tips on how to finish Sashiko items and
Oh, cool.
templates and all that. I got some simple toweling, just to make some kitchen towels. Uh, I think I got a couple yards of it, or maybe a yard and a half, something like that, to make some simple kitchen towels.
And
Michael's,
everything in the store was 30%
yeah,
off.
yeah, we happened on a weekend where everything was on sale. Maybe they do that all the time. I don't know.
I think Denise did around once a month.
Okay. But yeah, Michael's stepmother likes these particular type of towels.
Hmm.
So I got some that I can make with little snaps and stuff on them. And then I got one garment fabric. And this is,
It's by Portland designer.
yeah, Viola something. She's like in the same guild with Tula Pink. Is it Tula Pink?
Mm-mm.
No. It's
Elizabeth.
Hartman.
Yes.
Yes, Elizabeth Hartman. Because Denise is in that same guild. Was she super
They had
lucky?
a ton of Elizabeth Hartman pieces made
Yes.
up, and I want them all.
Yeah, she's the one that does like the
Hazel the Hedgehog.
yeah, the hedgehog, the aviatrix quilt. She does the woodland creatures, different stuff. Lots of super cute
Cats,
quilts.
foxes.
So this I got. It's a real simple, very light cotton fabric, and I like the abstractness of it and the simple colors. So I got 4 yards of it, which is more than I need, but I'd rather have more than not enough. And yeah, so that's all I got at Fabric Depot.
He
Laura
just
didn't
made
get
a nest
anything.
out of all my yarn.
Yeah, are you
Just set it
surprised
down.
by this?
No.
Surprised he's not carrying it around in his mouth.
Yeah, it's pretty. Once he
Um,
makes his nest, he's pretty set.
so we have to think of how we're going to give this away. How should we?
Why don't you pick one of the...
Oh,
You
yes.
did that thread for
I did. I did do
your
the prompt.
contest ideas.
So you talk for a minute while I look. And
Okay. And then Saturday we went out to this place that does really good breakfast, but they had good dinner as well. Sunday I flew back and Leslie flew back. We on the way there we got to sit on the same flight like from Chicago to there, but she flew back through Colorado and I flew back through Texas. I got in around 10 p.m. You got in at like 1
I
a.m.
got in because our flight was delayed a little bit while they were waiting on the first officer, whose flight was delayed.
Yeah.
So I got in around 1:15, and then we had to wait almost 20 minutes on the guy who drives the jetway to
Oh, really?
to meet up with the plane so that you can open the doors. Yeah, so we had to wait on him. That was super fun. And then I got to my car, and there was a dead battery in my car.
Oh no!
So I couldn't
didn't
even
know
start my
that.
car. And I had like
Do they
shin
like
splints
Memphis
because we
does
had been
free
walking
jump
so much
service?
more than usual. And, my phone battery was almost dead because I was like, I'll just charge it when I get in the car. It'll be fine. And I got to the car at like 1:45 and it was dead. And I just want to give up because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And so I called the airport police and they put me in touch with they do have a jump service, which
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for. I
Memphis
tipped the
does
guy
too.
and I gave him a hug and I'm like, you're my savior. Thank you so much. And but I didn't end up getting home until after 2:30 in the morning.
Ugh.
And then I had to get up and go to work at 8. So not my favorite way to come home, but it was a really great trip. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
And then Monday I got to spend time with Yarn Hoarder. Her and her family are in Memphis, and so she came down and chilled, which was super fun. And we went to Huey's and got cheese fries
Always a
and
win.
real food.
Cheese
But
fries is wonderful.
most Huey's has the most amazing cheese fries. It's a local Memphis chain. It's like a burger place, and they encourage you to shoot toothpicks at the ceiling so Michael won't eat there. But because he's afraid toothpicks are gonna fall in his food, is what he told me.
Yeah, Kobe likes to try to shoot them in there.
Yeah.
Or he used to, maybe he doesn't anymore.
And so she was a delight. She's such a lovely person, and we had a great time just hanging out. And she had a great time with Humberto. Humberto got this new cool toy. It's on my door. I should open my door and then you can see it. It came from Amazon. I'll see if I can link it in the show notes. And it is like this little plastic box that hangs from your doorknob. And then you turn it on, it's battery operated, and it has like a thing of elastic that moves.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a belt. And on one piece of that belt there's a sewn like rainbow tail. So it's
That he can
constantly like
catch.
moving it
Yeah.
around. And so he is in love with it. Like he doesn't typically play with toys, but it is his favorite now. It's called the Moody Pet Fling a String. Oh, he's such a moody pet. Uh,
You're gonna have to link it in the
that
show
must be
notes.
why he loves it, because he's a moody pet. Um, so uh, he was playing with that too, and it was a good. It's been a good time all around. But I actually had it on before we started recording, but then it was making a noise, and I didn't want it to be
Yeah.
disruptive. But
Um,
he just loves it.
so as far as questions, if you want to enter to win this Terrelay Designs woven
Pendant.
pendant, the question is going to be, what is the funniest colorway name for yarn? Whether it exists currently
Oh,
or
that's a good
it
question.
should exist um, by some entrepreneurial dyer who might be skimming the thread for ideas, which is totally allowed. We don't own these ideas, so
There you go.
we'll put that thread up once the episode goes up, which will hopefully be tonight. Um, I
All
think
right.
that's all I got. Do you have anything else?
So, well, upcoming events.
Mm-hmm.
I will be at DFW the 1st of April, the 1st and 2nd of April. So, Friday and Saturday, I will be attending the podcast meetup. I booked my plane ticket for Maryland Sheep and Wool today.
Yep.
So I will definitely be there. Southwest is getting more of my money. They should return my luggage. um, And actually, with that, I called my parents, like, with flying to Maryland. They're driving to Maryland. So if you go to Maryland Sheep and Wool, you might get the chance to meet Wheezy and Mama Linneman, as well as the nieces and my sister-in-law and my brother. And my brother's always the afterthought.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't care about the crafty world.
Yeah. So they are going to drive back, and I was like, good, you can take all the stuff that I
Mm-hmm.
buy. Um, so I don't have to pack 2 suitcases. So I will be at Maryland Sheepable. So will Leslie. I'm trying to think of what other awesomeness do we have coming up. Um,
So, do we
if
want to talk a little bit about the venue in Portland? We don't have any specifics yet.
Let's get it booked
Okay.
first, because I'm superstitious and I like things in writing, like firmed up before we
Yeah.
get.
So,
But
things
we
that we
did find
can
a
tell you
place.
now. We did find a place.
Yeah.
We did go back and take some photo and video that I'm going to try to put some time aside to work on this week. Um, we can tell you it will probably be more expensive than SSK, not by a huge giant amount, but it just because Portland is more expensive than Tennessee, it
Yes,
just
and it's
is.
gonna probably be 3 days versus four.
Yes.
That
Um, and let's see, what else can we say for sure? Nothing really, because we've got a lot of ideas of what it could be, but we don't like to announce anything until we are certain and have contracts signed. So,
Yep. So that will be coming in the future, but it was
yes.
lots of fun.
Hmm.
The whole Portland trip was fun
Yeah.
overall.
It's a great town, especially for an artist or creative person in any way. Um, oh, I got tons of cards. I'm just going to show you real quick, and then I'll link them at the bottom after we're done
So
recording.
if you
Yeah, if you get offended by bad language
cussing
um,
or
bad,
you're young,
yes, or bad taste, because some of these are in um, not super classy, but I found them all funny, and that was my criteria. So yes, profanity alert. If that offends you, then you've been warned. Uh, these I got at Crafty Wonderland, and these are all from rxletterpress.com. Oh my god, what can't you do? Um, Oh, for fuck's sake.
with the duck.
Yep. Little kittens that say, I will kill you in your sleep. And this one is so wrong. And it made me laugh, so I had to buy it. And it's a little girl with a lamb. And it says, no one will ever know. Interpret it in whatever way you choose. Let's see. And I've got these two are from, or maybe there's three. Yeah, three from Tea Party Animals.
Yes, we saw her at the Saturday market,
Yes.
and they sold her stuff at Crafty Wonderland.
So there's a damn you fine cat. I think it's a cat.
Yeah.
There's a business cat. It just says balls. And this one made me think of Jess. She's going to kill me for saying that. It's hard to read because of the colors, but it says, a good poop makes me happy.
Because Jess hates poop.
Yeah. She doesn't like discussing it, thinking about it. She's probably cringing because we said it. And these I think I got all of these from Powell's. Yes, I got all of these from Powell's.
I like the bear.
Again, profanity. You're the kitty's titties. How can you not purchase that? I love the shit out of you. This one is Emily McDowell. This one is Steam Whistle Press. I'll link all this in the show notes. You are doing a great fucking job. Because sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
This is just one of my favorite phrases. You are
You
enough.
are enough.
Mm-hmm. And then, hugs and kisses! Mean
That's
bear
my
face.
favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I have a thing for cards, especially really funny cards that you can frame or just pin and look at and laugh. So I'll put these up in the show notes while I'm waiting on the editing to finish. You already talked about DFW.
Yep. Our Patreon supporters, thank you so much for everything. And we will have both a hand spun and yarn giveaway the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Craft All the Things Cal, well, not Cal, but it wraps up the new technique Craft All the Things. There we go. Will be over not the next time we record, but the following time, March 31st.
So that'll be next Thursday, will be the deadline. And we'll shut that, oh my goodness. We will shut that thread down probably Friday morning. You don't have to be like right on the midnight mark, but I would make sure it's there by Friday.
I'll be in the air, so you'll have to do it.
Yeah. Okay, my dog's barking at who knows what, so that's a sign that we should end the show.
Awesome.
Y'all have a wonderful week, and we will catch you next week.
Bye, y'all.